My process of moving out at 18 would have been so much easier if I would have known the stuff in this video.
Hey, I'm Alex.
And I'm Philip.
And we teach you what you need to know about being a grown-up.
Because adulting shouldn't suck. If you're new to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, click on that bell so you get the notifications when we put out some new videos, and the comments below let us know what your favorite lunch is.
In this video, we're talking about things that we wish we would have known when we were 18 that would have helped us prior to moving out.
When we were 18, we both moved out. His family had a rule that once you're 18, it's time to GTFO. And my family, they didn't have any rules, but right when I was 18, I was like, bye, Mom. I can't stay here any longer. I'm getting out. Neither one of us did any sort of preparing. We just moved out. And it probably made things a lot harder on ourselves. And things would have been easier if we would have just did a little bit of preparation. But we didn't fail. We didn't have to move back into our parents' house. And for us, we pretty much count that as a victory.
Moving out is a big deal, but it's not the hardest thing in the world if you know what to do. And when you're determined to succeed, you're going to make it happen no matter what. And since you're watching this video, it means that you're trying to better prepare yourself so you can succeed when you move out for the first time. So let's get started on talking about the things that we wish we had known when we had moved out at 18.
First up, if we would have only known, it's not hard. There's so many resources out there today that can help you move out and be prepared for when you move out, that if you actually take the time to do the research and prepare yourself, it's not hard. Everybody's gonna tell you, oh my God, I could never move out. It's so hard. I'll do it next year. I'm not ready. It's too hard. It's really not that hard. If you just sat down and took the time to look at what it takes for you to get out of the house, we have a 12-step program to help you get out of your parents' house. The link's going to be in the description below. It's a free downloadable checklist that literally will walk you through the entire process of how to get out of your parents' house. Not only that, we have an entire playlist that covers all the stuff you need to do to get your credit ready, to get your savings account and your budget ready, all so you can move out. You just got to take the time to actually prepare. And it's not hard.
The next thing that we wish we knew was how important a budget is. When I first moved out, I sucked at saving money and budgeting for my expenses. I was real good at spending money, not very good at saving money. And same with my roommates. So there's a lot of times where we were scrambling to pay bills and pay our rent because we just didn't budget appropriately. And thankfully, we always made it happen. And to be honest, I was not good with my expenses whatsoever. And I'd had a bunch of money saved up when I was 19 because I'd gone to Iraq for a deployment with the military, and I came home with this big savings, and I dipped into that savings all the time to cover my expenses because I didn't budget appropriately. And after a year, like a lot of people that are 19 when they come home with all this money saved up, after a year I had none left. Lesson learned. Hard lesson learned. And that's why I like to make these videos, is to help you guys not do the same stupid stuff that I did.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't consider the fact that your check is going to be different if you're hourly every single paycheck. So if you're making $1,000 this month, but only $800 on the next paycheck, where's that extra $200 going to come from if you have that whole $1,000 spent every single month? It's going to come from somewhere. Which kind of brings us into our next topic of what's super important: saving money. If you are 18 and you're just moving out, you probably don't have a salary job. You're probably working hourly, and your paycheck might be $1,000 this check and $800 the next check, and $700 the next check. It all kind of depends on how many hours you're working each week. And if you don't account for that stuff, bad juju could happen. What are you going to do to make up that extra money that you didn't make from working the same hours every single week?
I mean, it could be varying hours. It could be you're not getting as many tips. You're not getting as many shifts.
You're sick.
Yeah, all kinds of factors that go into that.
Yeah.
And if you're not accounting for all these different variables and you don't have a savings built up, and I don't know, you're borrowing money from your roommates or your friends or your family, or you're having to put your expenses on your credit cards, life is going to get out of control real quick financially, and either going to go deep in debt or you're not going to be able to sustain it and you have to move back in with your parents, if that's even an option.
That's what would happen. So save your money. So important.
Next up is how helpful it is to have a roommate. Now, I moved out with a roommate. I know you did too.
Yep.
But we included this one in here because I had plenty of friends that didn't want to live with people and they tried to live on their own. They saved up all the money for months and months, and then they moved out on their own and it was super expensive. There is nobody to split the bills with, and if things went wrong, they kept having to dig into their savings just like I did. And then when they plowed through it, it was over. They had to move out and move back in with their parents.
Or they had to get a roommate, right? There was too many times that I had friends that were like, man, you did it right. You got a roommate. I wish I would have had a roommate. So we had to include it into this section. We had to include it into the video, period, because it's super important. Even if you think that you can do it, you probably could. You might be able to, but roommates really make it so much more affordable, memorable even, and sometimes enjoyable, especially if you like the person. Like I moved out with a really, really good buddy of mine. He moved out with some of his friends. It was fun.
Snowboarding all the time, going to jiu-jitsu practice, working out together. There's a lot of good memories. There's some crappy memories too, but for the most part, it was an awesome experience.
Yeah. But on the roommate topic, let's talk about the not so memorable memories, all right? Shyler and I, who was my roommate at the time, we had almost broken up as roommates because he didn't like my girlfriend at the time. And he was like, yeah, dude, I'm just going to move out. And I don't like your girlfriend. She's here all the time. And I was like, whoa, dude, whoa. Like, you just have to tell me, like, bros before hoes, dude. Like, girl, you got to go. And we were able to resolve the issue. And we stayed roommates. But, I mean, we almost had a falling out. It's crazy. My sister, she moved out with her best friend about a year ago, almost a year ago. And they were best friends. They're like, yeah, we love each other. Now they hate each other. They have to sleep with one eye open. I mean, one of them probably sleeps with a weapon, and they're stuck together on a lease until it's done. But they started out as best friends, and then they lived together, and they're like, I hate you. But they're stuck there. So picking a roommate is super helpful, but super important to like pick the right one.
Yeah, it doesn't always go as planned. My best friend was my roommate. And not this guy, another guy. But he always ate my food. And I was broke in college. And the dude just kept eating my food. And it was the most annoying thing ever. Thankfully, we trained together in jiu-jitsu. So I go to practice and I just pound on him. I mean, when I could. He was actually a little better than I was. But I would get in my cheap shots where I could. I'm like, oh, that's for eating my chips.
Yeah, it was my lasagna.
Yeah. But it's not always sunshine and rainbows. It can be great, but it can also be really annoying sometimes.
But we went on a tangent little there for about the roommates, but we'll keep moving on. Next thing we wish we would have known is how important it is to get free stuff. You don't really realize how expensive stuff is until you're in the store and you're having to buy all of it. We went to Walmart the night that we had moved in to go get silly things like shower curtains and trash cans and shower curtain hooks and groceries. And before we had knew it, we had like $700 combined in the cart. And we still didn't have any furniture. We had just gotten simple stuff like a couple paper plates, or excuse me, a couple plates, couple spoons, couple forks, couple cups, some soap.
It adds up so fast.
Shower rug, carpet for the bathroom. It was crazy. So expensive. So getting stuff secondhand, asking your parents for a couch, or your friends, or going to like a Goodwill, Facebook Marketplace looking for stuff that's free or super cheap, that's the way to go because, man, stuff is so expensive.
If you're penny pinching like you should be when you're first moving out, you need to be asking everybody before you even go on like Facebook or any of those other places. Ask your parents, ask your friends' parents, whoever, if they have anything free that they can give you, whether it's big stuff like furniture or pots and pans or whatever, because that stuff will nickel and dime you to death. Even if you get it for cheap, it still adds up. Like he was talking about going to Walmart, all that stuff is cheap. I don't know if you can even get anything cheaper than Walmart. Like I got my couches for free from my best friend's parents, and then I got my dinner table for free because I worked at a sports store, and I got a plexiglass backboard basketball hoop that I welded legs on, and that was my dinner table. It was pretty cool for a bachelor pad. But those are big items I got for free. Oh, and I got my bed for free from my another best friend's family because my bed at the time sucked. So I got a lot of the big stuff for free, but it was still super expensive with all the little things like he was talking about that just add up. So get as much stuff from your friends or family, whoever, as you can.
Yeah. Someone somewhere is ready to get rid of something that could probably go in your new place.
Be like, hey, aren't you like trying to embrace that minimalist lifestyle? Get rid of some stuff?
Yeah.
Hook me up.
Like, look, come on. You've been wanting to replace those pots and pans for like 3 years. Just let me take those off your hands, and you can go ahead and buy yourself some new ones. You should only be buying stuff that you absolutely have to buy when you're first getting out on your own. Like the shower curtain. You don't, necessarily need to buy. You could probably get a used one from somewhere, but you could probably buy one of those.
I'd rather buy a free one or I'd rather buy one than get a free one and have somebody else's shower funk on it.
Right.
Just saying. The next one up is how important having your own transportation is. Your own car. Now, it's not required. You can walk everywhere. You can take the bus. You can ride your bike, or you can hitch a ride with a friend or your parents or whoever. But it's going to make your life a lot easier. And yes, it costs money to have a car, but it also helps you make money. When you're first getting started and you moved out, you're going to have to grind. And if anybody tells you anything else, that's a lie. You have to work hard, especially when you're not making a lot of money. And having your own car allows you to pick up extra shifts or pick up extra work on the side, whether it's like Instacart or DoorDash. Sometimes you got to grind just to pay your bills, or you got to grind extra hard to get ahead.
Last but not least, you gotta make sacrifices. Moving out at 18 is a big flex all in itself. Some people, they don't even move out until they're 30, 25, so on and so forth. So if you're moving out at 18, 19, 20, that right there is a big accomplishment in itself. But you just have to be responsible. Go cheap, save yourself some money, and grind.
And don't forget, as Philip said in the beginning of this video, we got a great checklist that we made. It's free. It's 12 steps to how to move out of your parents' house. We threw the link in the description below. Go download it, use it. It'll make your life easier.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. In the comments below, let us know if you guys have any questions.
And we'll see you in the next video.